So there's obviously a change of doing business, right? And there's going to be more costs incurred in some aspect of that because transparency requires some degree also of integrity. One would hope. In what ways are these companies balancing this idea of we're going to have to make things in some degree that are a little bit more expensive, or we're going to have to be a little bit more public about the fact that some of our things are not made with the highest standards or have a detrimental effect in the environment? It's like, how is that needle getting thread?
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah, it does involve a lot of transparency in the supply chain. It involves a lot of researching, of course, with the accompanying investment to put us to work, so to say. But I mean, it's also for the organization, at least that we work with currently, it gives you such a high level of detailed insights that it also gives you a lot of things to work on because it creates insights that you didn't know before. So it's also, at least from our point of view, also a lot of fun.
When you are doing the type of work that you do, which is quantifying, taking all these different kind of inputs, how things are made, where they're made, what they're made out of, and then quantifying that, it feels like that should be something that is relatively objective, like math. However, as is, with all sort of accounting and statistics, there are ways that one might tip the scale. And so we're seeing there being this pretty wide breadth of the methodologies that are used in these types of accounting pro formas or schemes. And there's no real central sense of like credibility, right? There's no one unifying sense of truth, like a governing body that says, here, you've gone wrong by this amount of percent, because that would be just an incredible amount of work to check the homework of all of these companies doing this. So like the goal is a good one. We should know what goes into the products that we made. In order for that information to be useful, it needs to be accurate. How do we introduce objective accuracy into what is currently an incredibly fragmented system? Reliant on self-reporting, I should also say.
If we go specifically into this digital product passport, which is part of European legislation, the European Commission or the European Union has also developed a life cycle assessment methodology itself, which is called the PEF, the Product Environmental Footprinting Method. And with the methodology, they are basically building these product category specific rules. So textiles being the first and batteries being the second. And then if you use that PEF rule book, that's basically our general methodology. And then you're saying, okay, I'm assessing textiles. So you take the product specific rules for textiles. And then it's also accompanied with the PEF database, which is currently being filled with environmental references. And that all combined, gives you kind of the toolkit to do these assessments. And then all the other companies must use the same toolkit. So at that point in time, you're moving to a more level playing field. Yeah, but then still, it is, self-auditable or self-accessible. That's a difficult question, I think, because in the end, the work that we do does require a lot of knowledge and routine, and is not something that, the average product designer or marketing manager wants to do or should be doing. So indeed, there is some lack of knowledge there still, which is hopefully being solved over the next coming years with a lot of new, fresh university blood, or fresh from the university blood, all environmental specialists.